Trapezius. Upper fibers bilaterally extend head and neck. Unilaterally, laterally flex head and neck to the same side. Rotate the head and neck to opposite side. Elevate the scapula. Upwardly rotate the scapula. Middle fibers adduct scapula. Stabilize scapula. Lower fibers depress scapula. Upwardly rotate scapula. Origin, external occipital protuberance, medial portion of superior nuchal 9 of occiput, ligamentum, and spinous processes of C7 through T12. Insertion, lateral 1/3 of clavicle, acromion, and spine of scapula. Nerve supply, spinal portion of cranial nerve, and ventral ramus C2, 3, and 4. Levator scapae. Unilaterally elevate scapula. Downwardly rotate scapula. Laterally flex head and neck. Rotate head and neck to the same side. Bilaterally extend the head and neck. Origin, transverse processes of 1st through 4th vertical cervical vertebrae. Insertion, medial border of scapula between superior angle and superior portion of spine of scapula. Nerve supply, cervical, 3, 4, and dorsal scapular. Levator scapulae. Rhomboid major. Adduct scapula, elevate scapula, downwardly rotate scapula. Origin, spinous processes of T2 to T5. Insertion, medial border of the scapula between the spine of scapula and inferior angle. Nerve supply, dorsal scapular. Rhomboid major. Rhomboid minor. Adduct scapula, elevate scapula, downwardly rotate scapula. Origin, spinous processes of C7 to T1. Insertion, upper portion of medial border of the scapula at the level of spine of scapula. Nerve supply, dorsal scapular. Latissimus dorsi. Extend shoulder, adduct shoulder, medially rotate shoulder. Origin, inferior angle of scapula, spinous processes of last 6 thoracic vertebrae, last 3 to 4 ribs, thoracolumbar aponeurosis, and posterior iliac crest. Insertion, intertubercular groove of humerus. Nerve supply, thoracodorsal. Deltoid. All fibers abduct shoulder. Anterior fibers flex shoulder, medially rotate shoulder, horizontally adduct shoulder. Posterior fibers extend shoulder, laterally rotate shoulder, horizontally abduct shoulder. Origin, lateral 1/3 of clavicle, acromion, and spine of scapula. Insertion, deltoid tuberosity. Nerve supply, axillary. Pectoralis major. All fibers adduct shoulder, medially rotate shoulder, assist to elevate thorax. Upper fibers flex shoulder, horizontally adduct shoulder. Lower fibers extend shoulder. Origin, medial half of clavicle, sternum, and cartilage of 1st through 6th ribs. Insertion, crest of greater tubercle of humerus. Nerve supply, upper fibers, lateral pectoral, lower fibers, lateral and medial pectoral. This is pectoralis major. pectoralis minor, depress scapula, abduct scapula, downwardly rotate scapula, origin, 3rd, 4th, and 5th ribs, insertion, medial surface of coracoid process of scapula, nerve supply, medial pectoral with fibers from a communicating branch of lateral pectoral. Coracobrachialis, flex shoulder, adduct shoulder, origin, coracoid process of scapula, insertion, medial surface of midhumeral shaft, nerve supply, musculocutaneous.